Resident Evil fans are eating really well right now. There are multiple Resident Evil projects currently in development, and Capcom doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. Many players who recently finished Resident Evil 9 are already asking the same question, what's next for the franchise? And today, I've got some exciting news, because one of the most legendary games in the entire series may be getting a brand new remake. For those of you who follow my channel, you already know that I absolutely love the Resident Evil franchise. I've been covering the latest news and rumors around the series for a while now. I even made a video talking about the potential DLC expansion for Resident Evil 9, so if you want to check that out, the link will be in the description. But today we're talking about something even bigger. According to well-known Resident Evil insider and leaker Dusk Golem, Capcom may currently be working on another remake of the original Resident Evil. Yes, the game that started it all. Now, if you've been a fan of the series for a long time, you probably know that the original Resident Evil already received a remake back in 2002. That remake was released on the Nintendo GameCube and later remastered for modern platforms. At the time, it completely reimagined the 1996 game. The 2002 remake featured massively improved graphics, updated environments, new gameplay mechanics, additional characters, and even new story elements. It also made the Spencer Mansion feel much darker and more terrifying than the original version. To this day, many fans consider it one of the greatest video game remakes ever made. However, that remake still used the classic fixed camera angles that were popular in older survival horror games. While it worked incredibly well, the Resident Evil series has evolved a lot since then. Starting with the Resident Evil 2 remake in 2019, Capcom completely reinvented the remake formula. Instead of fixed cameras, the game used the modern over, the shoulder perspective, similar to Resident Evil 4. This made the gameplay feel more immersive and modern while still maintaining the survival horror atmosphere. After the success of Resident Evil 2, Capcom continued the trend. We got the Resident Evil 3 remake in 2020, and then in 2023, Capcom released the incredibly successful Resident Evil 4 remake. Many fans consider the Resident Evil 4 remake to be one of the best remakes ever created. It improved the gameplay, expanded certain story elements, and modernized the entire experience while still respecting the original game. Because of that success, Capcom clearly realized that remakes are a huge part of the franchise's future. And this is where the rumors about the Resident Evil 1 remake start getting really interesting. According to Dusk Golem, Capcom has already begun early development on another remake of the original Resident Evil. This time, however, the game would likely be redesigned using the modern gameplay style we've seen in the newer remakes. That means the Spencer Mansion could potentially be recreated using the shoulder camera perspective, similar to Resident Evil 2, 3, and 4 remakes. Just imagine exploring the iconic mansion again, but this time with fully modern graphics, updated combat, new mechanics, and a completely immersive horror experience. Hallways that once felt tense could become even more terrifying when viewed from a modern perspective. But there's another interesting reason why Capcom might be planning this remake. Dusk Golem also mentioned some theories regarding the upcoming Code Veronica remake. According to rumors, Code Veronica could be the next major remake project after Resident Evil 9. For those who may not know, Code Veronica actually contains several references and callbacks to the original Resident Evil, including areas that resemble the famous Spencer Mansion. Because of that connection, Capcom might want to revisit the original game again so that new players can experience the full story in the modern remake style. If Capcom releases Code Veronica first, and then follows it with a brand new Resident Evil 1 remake, it would allow the entire classic storyline to feel more connected for modern audiences. And based on current rumors, Capcom may already have a long-term roadmap plan for the franchise. Some reports suggest that Code Veronica remake could release around 2027. After that, Capcom may move on to a Resident Evil 0 remake, which could potentially arrive around 2028. Meanwhile, Resident Evil 10, the next mainline entry after Resident Evil 9, is rumored to be targeting a release window around 2029. If Capcom continues its pattern of alternating between new entries and remakes, it's very possible that a brand new Resident Evil 1 remake could arrive sometime around 2030 or even 2031. And honestly, 2031 would actually make a lot of sense. Why? Because that year will mark the 35th anniversary of the Resident Evil franchise. The original game launched in 1996, and releasing a fully modern remake of Resident Evil 1 during the 35th anniversary would be the perfect way to celebrate the series' legacy. It would bring everything full circle, returning to the very beginning of the story that started one of the most influential survival horror franchises in gaming history. Of course, it's important to remember that these are still rumors and insider reports for now. Capcom has not officially confirmed another Resident Evil 1 remake yet. Plans can always change during development, and release dates could shift depending on how production progresses. But considering Capcom's recent success with Resident Evil remakes, The idea of revisiting the original game once again actually makes a lot of sense. And if they do it right, with modern graphics, updated gameplay, expanded story content, and the same terrifying atmosphere, it could easily become one of the most exciting remakes the franchise has ever seen. For longtime fans, it would be an incredible nostalgia trip, and for newer players who discovered the series through the recent remakes, it would finally give them the chance to experience the beginning of the Resident Evil story in a completely modern way. So the big question now is, will Capcom actually remake Resident Evil 1 again? Only time will tell. But if the rumors are true, the future of Resident Evil is looking incredibly exciting. Now let me know your thoughts on this, and subscribe for more news and updates. Thanks for watching. See you in next